Hey everyone, I have three adorable new Into Resin molds. Really cute ideas for Christmas gifts, for birthday gifts, to sell. They're adorable, and stick around to the end. I saved the best for last. We're going to be having a giveaway for the Bond Craftor Resin, which is what we are using in this project. Keep watching, it is crystal clear, and find out how 3 people can win 1 gallon of Bond Craftor Resin along with a set of 16-ounce Bond Craftor Resin. Keep watching to find out how to enter. So Into Resin has this adorable ice cream cone box, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. And to color the ice cream cone, I decided to use gold, and this is Let's Resin Gold Mica Powder. And although they don't have this same set anymore because what I have is pretty old, they do have some gold colors in the intense, in the metallic, and they also have a separate jar of gold that you can buy that I'm sure would work for it. So I mixed the mica powder with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol so that it wasn't so powdery and it wouldn't fly away. So I was real afraid of getting it into the other parts, and it's just a lot of work cleaning it up. And it's probably hard to tell by watching this because I have this sped way up, but I'm also dipping my brush into the alcohol and then into the powder to make it easier to put on, and it will hold on better. So even though I have this in fast forward, I did take my time painting it. And I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing, but I did my best and got into all the little crevices and tried to keep the powder out of the ice cream part. With the top done, I moved on to the bottom, and the bottom had 2 little paw prints, which were super cute. I just colored those pink with mica powder again. But then there was some kind of a design in between the 2 pink paw prints, and I'm assuming it was maybe either a dog or a cat, but I don't know. I just couldn't identify it, so I decided just to leave it. I didn't really care for it. But so I just left it. I only colored in the paw prints. So here it is up close, and you tell me if you can figure out what it is. I can't tell which is the front or the back, or if it has legs in the front and the back. I just can't tell. Can you guys tell what it is, or does anybody know what it is? Please tell me. I guess I should ask Into Resin what the heck it is. But I just left it blank because I just didn't know. And then to color the rest of the ice cream cone, I used the same gold and went along the sides. And to keep the powder from getting everywhere else, I ended up covering it with the little cardboard piece that they give you, because they give you that to cover it when you're not doing it, so that dust or debris or nothing gets in it. Just in case you're wondering why I'm holding the cardboard piece over it, I'm doing it so that I don't drop any of the mica powder on the center part where the little paw prints are. I'm trying to be super careful. This really is quite time consuming, but you just have to be patient and go around and paint it. I don't know what other way you would be able to get the cone a different color than the actual ice cream besides by using a mica powder and painting a mica powder on. So this ice cream cone is going to be for my daughter, and her favorite flavor ice cream is chocolate, so I'm looking for a chocolate looking mica powder. And it's really weird because the mica powders that I have, these ones from About, at the bottom it says pink and it says red, but this one that I think looks like chocolate doesn't have a name on it. It's really weird. Or I couldn't read it, one of the two. So I thought that looked the most like chocolate, so I decided to go ahead and use that. And when you're putting mica powder in your resin, it's in your best interest to put a like a popsicle stick in there and pull it out instead of dumping it the way I just did. So I put the chocolate color in first, and because I wanted it more of a milk chocolate, I put some white in with it too. And this mica powder from About is really old. I've had it for quite a long time, 2, 3 years maybe. So it was really quite chunky. It really took a lot to get it all mixed in there. And I did put it into 2 separate cups, and then I did put it in my bubble removal machine to get all the bubbles out. Because I had mixed it so much, it really created a lot of bubbles. But regardless, anything that I pour in a mold now, I always put in the bubble removal machine. And remember, whenever you have some kind of pigment in your resin, to put it in cups so that it has a lot of room to bubble up, because with the pigment in it, it does bubble up a lot. So when I pour the resin in, I actually pour too much in the one side, and I use the pipettes to pull some of the resin out. And I use these pipettes all the time to remove excess resin and also to put resin in smaller areas that I just want a tiny bit. I want more of a control when I'm pouring. So next you'll see me squeezing the sides so that the bubbles will come up. This will help for the bubbles to raise to the top. And you can kind of gently go around and pop them if you can. That's the thing with mica powder too. You can swirl it because it makes all sorts of crazy patterns. And then I'm going around with the barbecue lighter, getting rid of the bubbles that I just pulled up, also using isopropyl alcohol. And then I'm using a little dotting tool to go under the lip of the top, because bubbles can get trapped under there. So it's really important that you kind of go along under the lip of anything that you do. Sometimes coasters have lips, and that way the bubbles will be pulled out. And I'm going just around the edge of this too to see if I can pull any bubbles up. And I have this way in fast forward, so I'm really doing it a lot slower than it looks like I'm doing it. The next day I demold it. So I have 2 other real pretty Into Resin molds that I'm going to do today also. And this one is a starfish tray, and it's super pretty. It looks like glass when it's done. And the other one is a Hello Kitty tray that is just adorable. And I'm going to be making both of them for, well, the starfish mold is for a friend, and the Hello Kitty one is for my daughter's friend's daughter. And it's just adorable. And so because I have to do the Hello Kitty one in 3 parts, I'm going to start with that. And I'm using Bond Craftor Resin, and I'm mixing up about 2 ounces. And I'm going to use for the bow, so it has to be pink. And what I use for that is the Bombay India ink, the color magenta. What I do is I stick the popsicle stick into the magenta and just put it in, and I'm adding the color very slowly because I do not want it to get too dark. And in a minute it'll look like it's really dark, but when it's pouring deep in a cup, it looks much darker than it really will appear when you're pouring it thinner. And what I do to test it is I drip it onto a paper towel to see how dark it really is, because it's very difficult to tell. And here you can see how light of a pink it is on the paper towel, so I'm adding just a little more. And that's really the way to do it, is just add a tiny bit at a time to test if you're not wanting it to get too dark. And these Into Resin molds look best when you use transparent resin, or translucent resin, I should say. So once I have it the color I like, I use my pipette and I put the resin into the eyes and the nose of the Hello Kitty. And I use these pipettes all the time. They're really nice when you have to put resin in small areas and you really need to have control of your pour. And I also use them a lot to remove excess resin from an area that I've put too much resin into. So this is going to be this Hello Kitty is 3 levels. The first level is the bow, which you want pink. And you have to wait for it to get tacky before you can pour the second layer. Now, I am not going to be it is on the heat table, but I'm not going to turn the heat on because I'm doing another mold, and I do not want to heat that because I don't want to risk that it fast cures. So normally though, if you do have it on the heat table and this is the only one there, you could put it on for an hour and you would be ready for your second pour. But in this case, I actually wait until the next morning because I'm doing another mold. And I do not use the whole 2 ounces. I may only use an ounce for that, for the bow and the eyes and nose. So now while the bow dries, I'm going to move on to my next mold. And I do have this in fast forward. This is the starfish dish or little tray. And I'm using a blue mica powder to color in the starfish. And honestly, the way I did the ice cream cone with using the isopropyl alcohol is probably how I should have done this, because I kind of got a lot of powder all over and I ended up having to do a major cleanup. And I didn't realize when I first started I had the fan on in the room, so it was even blowing the mica powder around a little bit. So anyway, I just painted just in the areas where the starfish was, and I used a little paintbrush, and that's probably not the best thing to use either. And like I said, I should have had it dipped in some isopropyl alcohol. It would have been easier and kept it from flying around. You can kind of see as I'm moving it the blue that I have in there already, and I'm going to have to clean up before I can pour the resin. And I really have this sped way up. I really did take my time and try to do a nice job. And once I got it covered, I tipped it upside down and kind of tapped it to knock some of the powder out. But there is still quite a bit of powder in there, and I'm using a little isopropyl alcohol on a baby wipe to try to get out what I got around the edges. So I mixed up my resin, and I thought I was videoing pouring it, but I just realized it toward the very end. And I think I might have used like 7.5 ounces. I am not positive, but this is the Bond Craftor Resin, and this is not the deep pour resin, but you can pour this fairly deep without it flash curing. And that's the exact reason why I'm not putting it on the heat mat. I was talking about that earlier because I don't want to risk it flash curing. So this really did well. I believe it was 7.5 ounces. I wished I would have measured it. But I'll try to, I think I might be making another one after this. So if I do, I'll be sure to measure it this time. And so I let this actually cure overnight. I did go around the edges a little bit with the dotting tool just to make sure there weren't any bubbles, but it's not really a lip, it's more slanted, so I don't think any bubbles would get caught under that. So this is the next day, and the pink has all cured, so I can pour my next layer of clear resin. And this is just clear resin, and there's actually a cavity that goes all the way around the perimeter of the Hello Kitty face, and gosh, I think I used about 3 ounces for that part. And I just poured it into where the bow is, and then it slowly fills all the way around the perimeter. And then again, I have to let that set up for about an hour before I can pour the last layer. And the reason that it's set up enough in an hour is because I have the heat mat on. Otherwise, it would take much longer. So I come back an hour or so later. So for this next part, I use some white colorant from Let's Resin. And you're best off using a colorant because it's translucent, and the the Into Resin molds look best when you use translucent resin, not anything opaque. The crystal or the diamond effect shows up much better. And when adding this, just do 1 drop at a time and test it and see how dark it is, because you don't want it too dark. You don't want it opaque. Like I said, you want it translucent. So I did this kind of slow. I mixed my colorant in, and I did end up using 4 drops altogether. But like I said, I tested it 1 at a time, and then I did put it in the bubble removal machine. Then I pour the white resin over the Hello Kitty's face, and I sure hope this is going to be dark enough. It's really hard to tell. You know, you don't want it too dark, and you don't want it too light either, because you want it to show up as a white face. So I guess we'll see when we demold it. And I did create some bubbles when I dumped that in. So I do use my little barbecue lighter to get the bubbles out. I used my little toothpick to get any sediment out that I see. And I think I ended up getting a hair in there somehow. And I used the little dotting tool to go around the edges, but this doesn't really have a lip to trap any bubbles, but I just thought I would see just in case. And then we just wait. I had the heat table on again, and in a couple hours it should be set up.
This one seems pretty easy to demold. Oh my God, that is so pretty already. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love it. That is so pretty. I don't see any bubbles. Oh, that really turned out nice. And I love the starfish colored blue like that. Isn't that pretty?
I might have to keep this one for myself. It's so pretty. I think that turned out really good, and I still have no clue what that is in the middle. Can you see it? I don't know what I'm sure it's supposed to be an animal, maybe a dog or a cat, but I cannot tell what the heck it is. So I didn't know what to color it or anything, so I just left it like it was. So the bottom turned out real good, and this is the top. And I just think that turned out so cool. Isn't that? I love the way that looks. The ice cream cone, the chocolate ice cream dripping down. It almost looks like the mica powder didn't mix in all the way on the back there. I was really worried that I was gonna mess up on the cone. Now to see if the top fits. So it fit down at the bottom, but the top I had to trim a little bit to snap it in. So I actually used the deburring tool to trim it a little bit at the top. And when you're using the deburring tool to snap something together like this, just do a little bit at a time, because if you take too much off, then it'll be too loose and it will just fall off.
Oh, just snapped that.
There you could hear it snapped right in, so now I can hold it by that. I think I turn it upside down so that you can see, but it stays right in there. So like I said, don't take too much off of it. I think my daughter will love it. I'm going to give her that and a gift card to her favorite ice cream place. You would think she's a little kid. She's 28 years old. One of my daughters.
All right, here's the Hello Kitty. Oh my gosh, that is adorable. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh my God. Look at, so this is crystal clear, but then you can see how there's the layer of white at the bottom that makes the face look whiter. Oh, that is so pretty. What little girl wouldn't love that? Oh, I love it. That is so cute. Oh, adorable.
Hey everyone, I was so surprised at how cute these turned out. So this one I had actually done a little while ago. As soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, my daughter would love that. Just as a cute little gift, but I was gonna put a gift card in it. This would be really cute for a kid for a gift. Little girl or a little boy, and then a gift card for their favorite ice cream place. I just think it's so cute. And this, though, of the three was the most work, because how you had to do all the detail work on the cone and on mainly on the cone. For the ice cream, you just poured it. But anyway, that I think is really cute. And then this one is so easy to do. It did take 3 layers. But look at that. I hope you can see the sparkle on that. I just think that's adorable. What little girl wouldn't like that? I just think it's so cute. I like it. But 3 layers, but it was 3 easy layers. And if you have the heat table, you can cure it real fast or not, you know. You can do it the other way and just let it set up overnight. But look at the sparkle on that. And this is it from the back. It kind of looks white. So I think the white did the trick. Let's see it from the side. You can see the layers. But isn't that cute? I just think that's adorable. These could be great gifts. You could sell these. I think these would sell like hotcakes at a craft fair. I think they're so pretty. So that, and then this one here is so pretty too. The starfish. It looks like glass. It just looks like glass. I think it's so pretty. And look at the back, how crystal clear that is. That's it, Bond Craftor Resin. Their casting resin. It is so nice. And so this is the thickness. It does get thinner there, but I was able to pour this whole thing in one pour, which is pretty good, I think. So anyway, and this was super easy too. So these two were the easiest, the Hello Kitty and this. This ice cream cone took a little bit more work, but still, I think it's really pretty. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the project. These are those Into Resin molds. I have a link under the description for each of the molds, 20% discount code, Crazy Glass Lady. If you're interested in any of them, I think they would make great birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, anything. Super easy. This one was the hardest one to do, but still turned out real cute. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you enjoy the channel, please consider subscribing. If you haven't already, check out our Facebook group, an amazing group over there. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching. So to enter the contest for the Bond Craftor Resin, it's a whole gallon of Bond Craftor Resin with a separate set of 16-ounce Bond Craftor Resin for 3 people. I'm going to post this video on Facebook in 2 days, and in 2 days' time, you can enter the drawing under that post. I find it's going to be easier for me to notify people that way. I'm having a really hard time contacting people, winners, when I do the little contests or giveaways. So I think going through Facebook would be the easiest way that I can private message people. Okay, good luck.